behind that tree, and he's running. Oh, he's trying to carjack this car.
It's breaking news now at 11 o'clock. Changing cars with police on his heels. A pursuit suspect pulls a bait and switch in the San Fernando Valley.
News Chopper 4 was the only helicopter to capture that switch. Eliana Moreno is over the new car the man is driving now. Eliana.
This is the second car that this suspect has driven during the course of this pursuit. We believe it's a 1980s model Chevy Camaro. It's pretty dark here because he's driving through the Sepulveda Dam. So he's driving through the dam located right here at the 405-101 interchange. This pursuit began around 9 o'clock in another vehicle, a Nissan Altima, when the West Valley Division of the LAPD spotted what they believed to be a stolen car. They attempted to pull that vehicle over, but that's when the suspect took off, and boy, did he take off. He was driving very erratically on surface streets, wrong side of the road, running through red lights. It was so erratic that the LAPD decided that it was best to go into tracking or surveillance mode, which means that they were only going to follow this pursuit from the helicopter, and no units were going to be directly behind the vehicle. After about an hour and a half of leading officers on that pursuit, tracking mode only, that is when the suspect saw an opportunity to ditch the first vehicle and get into this Camaro. And that is the vehicle that he has been on now, or rather the vehicle that he has been in for the past 30 minutes or so. He has been trying to blend into traffic a little bit more, not driving as erratically as he was at first. But of course, the authorities still want to get this guy, not only because this is the first vehicle, rather, not only because that was a stolen car, but because they also know that this is a felony suspect as well. So they are still trying to get him, although they don't have any units directly behind him and the helicopter is no longer overhead. They're still trying to keep tabs on where this suspect is and eventually take him into custody. That's the latest from over the Sepulveda Dam in News Chopper 4. Eliana Moreno, back to you in the studio.
And if anything happens, we'll get right back live to News Chopper 4. We're also tracking a developing story in Aliso Viejo. A cross-county manhunt leads to the arrest of this double murder suspect. One of the victims, his own flesh and blood.
NBC4's Hetty Chang spoke to one of the wounded victims who survived.
Tonight, we've learned investigators are interviewing the suspect, 26-year-old Luke William Ferguson, to find out exactly why he opened fire on a house filled with people, including his own father. We're also hearing from a shooting survivor who gives us a chilling account of what happened. Candles and flowers now line the front of the home where Doug Ferguson and longtime girlfriend Lisa Kazenza were killed. Friends say they were a loving couple who welcomed everyone with open arms.
She was always worried about everybody else.
Among the mourners here, friend and roommate Todd Kuchar, just out of the hospital.
It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
He shows us the wounds to his head, shoulder, and knee, and describes a terrifying account of how he watched Doug's son, Luke Ferguson, open fire.
And Luke said he was going to go upstairs and just relax and whatever. 5 minutes later, he came down, walked down the stairs, big smile on his face, cocked the gun, shot Doug one time.
Kuchar says he continued shooting, hitting him, killing Kazenza, then shooting roommate Brandon Dufault in the face.
He's going to make it. But he's blind, shot right through the shower doors.
The quadruple shooting in this quiet Aliso Viejo neighborhood Thursday led to a region-wide manhunt for Ferguson. Tonight, detectives swarmed this house in Ventura that turned up empty. Then we're there as detectives take Ferguson into custody in Inglewood. While friends say Luke Ferguson seemed, quote, a little off, they never thought he was capable of murder.
We've lost two people, two very good people.
Now, friends tell us that Doug did have a conversation with his son recently about finding a job and getting his life together, but they tell us that was the extent of the troubles at the home. They've set up a GoFundMe account to help with medical costs and burial costs. We posted that link on our website, NBCLA.com. In Santa Ana tonight, Hetty Chang, NBC4 News.
Thank you, Hetty. Breaking now, U.S.-Canadian family held hostage by the Taliban in Afghanistan for 5 years. Tonight is back home in North America. This is Canadian Joshua Boyle arriving in Toronto. He spoke only briefly to reporters, saying that the militants who held them captive killed his infant daughter, a child we're only now hearing about for the first time.
The stupidity and the evil of the Haqqani network's kidnapping of a pilgrim and his heavily pregnant wife, engaged in helping ordinary villagers in Taliban-controlled regions of Afghanistan was eclipsed only by the stupidity and evil of authorizing the murder of my infant daughter, Martyr Boyle.
Boyle also said his American wife, Caitlin Coleman, was raped by their captors. The family, including 3 children born in captivity, were rescued by security forces in Pakistan yesterday.
Where are you at? Help, right here! Come on! Screw your shoe! Come on! She's disabled. All right, let me get her.
This new body cam video shows just how frightening it is in the Northern California fire zone. This has been the deadliest week for wildfires in state history, and it could get even worse overnight and this weekend. NBC4's Robert Kovacic is tracking this breaking story as new numbers come in on the damage. Robert.
Carolyn, those new numbers are staggering on a night when dangerous conditions are threatening to make it all even worse. As you take a look at video from wine country just into our newsroom, 5,700 homes and buildings completely destroyed, and the death toll has now grown to 35. Kai Shepard and his family ran and ran, but the 14-year-old never made it. Kai lost his life, and tonight his parents and sister are unconscious, hospitalized with severe burns. 1 week after 70-mile-an-hour gusts turned parts of our state into a giant inferno, the devastation is beyond comprehension.
Breaks your heart.
Vicki Nightingale saw her entire neighborhood destroyed right before her eyes.
Where are you at?
And this is what a Sonoma County Sheriff's deputy saw right before his eyes.
Come on! She's disabled. All right, let me get her feet. Let me get her feet.
You are looking at body camera footage of his rescue efforts late Sunday night.
Sheriff 174, we're doing a carry out. Ready?
You can see the deputy assist in the evacuation of an elderly couple from a burning home and placing the woman in the patrol car.
Watch your leg. Sir, you gotta go!
The video also shows the deputy driving through the flames while shining his rescue light, even as sparks are shooting across his windshield. And as he heads back down the mountain, that deputy can be heard on his loudspeaker, notifying residents of the mandatory evacuation, even waving cars through as they head away from danger.
Go, 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 go!
Now, while Boots on the Ground has helped firefighters make significant gains, CAL FIRE tells our sister station in the Bay Area there is a concern of a possible overnight windstorm. If it happens, the area most affected by a wind-driven fire, Calistoga, that entire city already evacuated. In the newsroom, I'm Robert Kovacic, Chuck and Carolyn. That's the very latest from here.
Wow, what a story. Thank you, Robert. A red flag warning is certainly something that firefighters don't need, and yet that is what we're facing through the weekend.
Fritz Coleman has more now on how that could affect the fire battle here in the Anaheim Hills area. Fritz.
Guys, when we come back in a couple of minutes, just to tag that earlier story, we are going to have some of the wind gusts in the northern part of the state. Just astonishing. Red flag warnings in most areas except for the high desert Antelope Valley. Victor, Apple, and Lucerne Valley is not included. Coast of Orange County not included. Everybody else is. These are north and northeast winds 30 to 40. Occasional gusts of 50 miles an hour. Single-digit relative humidity. Now, keep in mind that the Canyon Fire 2 is 65% contained. However, the weekend Santa Ana winds could exacerbate that fire. The Anaheim fire authorities down there have a great social media presence. They recommend that you keep your eye on their social media. They will let you know of quickly changing conditions down there, and be prepared for a flare-up again wherever you live, anywhere in the Anaheim Hills. Back with our forecast, including how gusty you'll get in your area and when, and how high temperatures will go from a moderate Santa Ana wind. All that in a few minutes.
All right, Fritz, and firefighters hope to have the Canyon Fire 2 fully contained by Tuesday. The more than 9,200-acre fire is now 70% contained tonight. Both directions of the 241 toll road have now reopened, but that fire has destroyed 25 structures and damaged 53 others since Monday. An assistance center at the East Anaheim Gymnasium will reopen tomorrow to help those whose homes were damaged or destroyed.
New at 11, a nasty 4-car smash up in Ventura leaves 1 person dead and 5 injured. Investigators are expected to remain on the scene for several hours. This is out near Fillmore. 3 cars and a pickup truck were involved here. One of the 5 people was rushed to the hospital, still in critical condition. Highway Patrol is investigating what led up to the crash. A retired Army veteran was struck and killed by a car in Hawthorne tonight. The man's daughter told us that he was walking to the store at the time near Crenshaw and El Segundo. This was not a hit and run. The driver stayed right there on the scene.
Beaumont High School's football coach is off the job, not for what happened on the field, but in the classroom. He's seen here punching a student in the gut with the whole class watching. And this is a second longer video showing that incident, which happened sometime over the summer. It shows the students laughing beforehand and after. Parents and students say this is the way Coach Martin disciplines players. Many of those at tonight's football game say they support him.
They taped it, and it was a bad thing that happened. But he's a great coach, and I'm praying that he doesn't lose his job.
Talking with a lot of the kids, they really like the coach and they respect the coach and they want him back.
Beaumont police are now looking into what happened, and they're asking any other witnesses to come forward.
Okay, you can get out of her.
Out of my office.
I will now.
The video shows a doctor reaching the tipping point when he kicks a patient out of his office. What happened next that could land him in handcuffs?
And shattered glass and stolen shampoo in San Pedro. Crooks who didn't go for the cash. More on what they grabbed instead. Cursed at and told to leave, this woman's trip to the doctor's clinic is going viral.
Do you want to be seen or not?
I want to go home and get in my bed.
Then fine, get the out. Get your money and get the
Well, this happened in Gainesville, Florida. The woman says she was later diagnosed with pneumonia. She says she had questioned staff about her wait time and asked for a refund. The woman's daughter was recording when the doctor snatched her phone away. He's now put out a statement apologizing for his behavior.
Tonight, 2 victims of the Las Vegas shooting were honored in a special candlelight vigil at their alma mater, Centennial High School in Corona. Austin Davis and Chris Roybal.
We are joined tonight by members of the Davis and Roybal families at midfield, surrounded by Corona community, as we come together in memory of Chris and Austin.
Students in the football team, you see them there, gathered on the field before the game for a moment of silence. 29-year-old Austin Davis was a pipe fitter in Colton, and Navy veteran Chris Roybal served 4 tours of duty in Afghanistan, only to be gunned down in Las Vegas Sunday.
And hundreds gathered in Rolling Hills to honor 46-year-old Lisa Patterson. She was also killed in the Las Vegas shooting. Patterson was a mother of 3 from Lomita. Her family remembers her as the life of every party, joyful, powerful, and faithful. Lisa's 19-year-old daughter, Amber, handed out these green bracelets for guests to wear, inscribed with the words, "Live like Lisa P."
Also today, a celebration of life at Jet Hawk Stadium in Palmdale for Jenny Parks, mother, wife, and teacher killed in the Las Vegas shooting. Many were wearing Jenny's favorite color, red. There was also a book drive at the stadium to honor Jenny's love and commitment to education. Tonight, the search for a man who smashed his way into a San Pedro hair salon in the middle of the night. The hooded thief taking hundreds of dollars in shampoo and hair products and then putting them in a bucket. It's interesting that he never went for the cash register and was out the door in about 60 seconds.
I don't take it personal at all. I think it's just, they're just lazy and they go for something easy.
This was the second robbery at the same store since March. Police tell us he got away in what appears to be a Honda Accord.
New at 11, an anonymous tip leads officers from multiple agencies to arrest a man known as the Office Creeper. Anthony Fierro was arrested in connection with a string of wallet and credit card thefts from office buildings. The crimes took place throughout the San Gabriel Valley and Burbank. An anonymous tip identifying Fierro as the Creeper was sent to police, and the 51-year-old was arrested at a parole office in El Monte.
New video tonight from Florida shows a clerk attacked by something we rarely see, an electric baton. Now, he used it to shock the clerk, pulling him over the counter, then around the store. Even so, the clerk did manage to put up a tough fight. The man got away. Police caught him a few hours later in an abandoned house.
Well, some welcome news for drivers heading up the Central Coast. The new Pfeiffer Canyon Bridge on Highway 1 opened today. Winter storms pounded the Big Sur coastline and cut the scenic coastal highway off in several places. In fact, the highway had been closed for 8 months since landslides wiped away part of the road. Governor Brown signed off on a $24 million emergency project. Now there's a new bridge.
The pylons out at LAX change colors every few minutes. Right now in purple. It's going to be warmer on the weekend. Here's Fritz Coleman now with your first alert forecast.
Oh, you're right, Chuck. We're going to call this a moderate Santa Ana wind, gust maybe 50 miles an hour, and there's wind-prone canyons and passes. Everybody warm and dry and potentially windy. These are current numbers. We're in the low to mid-60s as an average, upper 50s in some of the cooler spots, even upper 40s. Inland Ventura County 58, Santa Clarita 59 in the San Gabriel Valley, low and mid-60s farther inland where it's a bit warmer. 4 things to watch. This Santa Ana is going to eat up a time between now and Sunday, and we'll show you when the peak winds will happen and the peak temperatures. I think the peak wind thing will be starting at 11 o'clock news 24 hours from now and lasting through about midday on Sunday. Warmest temps will be Sunday into Monday, even though we'll lose the winds after the latter part of Sunday. We'll keep those same warm temperatures into Monday, maybe even Tuesday in some spots. Pattern change on Tuesday. We'll get a cool, moist onshore flow back in here. That'll help us out. Here's where we stand right now at 11 o'clock, looking at the wind futurecast. And then it's more classic Santa Ana direction, northeast to southwest by wake-up time tomorrow morning. And as the day goes along, look at the area of wind expanding in L.A. and Ventura County and getting stronger. Still substantial winds inland on the Cajon Pass, but I think L.A. and Ventura County are likely to be affected a little bit more. And then they're going to taper off gradually during the day Sunday, settle down, never completely go away, hence even the same numbers on Monday, but the worst of the winds will be gone below 10 miles an hour. Let's go up north. Some of the cities we've been watching the last several days: Sonoma, Napa, Fairfield. These are called Diablo or the devil winds, and here's what's happening overnight tonight. Look at this blast of wind that they don't need through about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, then tapering off and all but gone by about 12 hours later tomorrow night. Our thoughts are with them. Just horrible circumstances up there. Daytime highs tomorrow: Antelope Valley 81, 60 at Wrightwood, 61 at Big Bear. Valleys of the Inland Empire may go upper 80s in some of the cooler spots, low and mid 90s elsewhere. 95 at Elsinore, 91 at Corona and at Ontario. Inland Orange County upper 80s to 90 plus, 91 at Irvine, 73 at Laguna Niguel, low to mid 70s all along the Orange County coast. Look what the offshore wind does to coastal Ventura County: 88 degrees in both of the major cities, 88 inland, 90 Santa Paula and Ojai, 85 Santa Clarita Valley, 92 at Van Nuys, 88 degrees downtown to South LA to East LA. 7-day forecast, your mountains are on top. Weekend number 61, less wind and warmer temperatures Sunday at 70. High desert on the bottom goes 81 and 82 and as warm as 87 on Monday and Tuesday. Valleys of the Inland Empire on top, couple of windy days, 91, a little warmer Sunday, 94. We lose the wind and keep the numbers, 94 Monday and then down to about 80 by Thursday. The valleys of Los Angeles and Ventura County, 92 and 98 with wind at least the first portion of Sunday, 98 degrees again on Monday. The coast, the warm day will be Sunday at 87, still 85 on Monday. Downtown LA and Inland Orange County communities 88 and 92, and then even warmer once we lose the wind and stepping down slowly to the mid 70s, closer to normal by Thursday and Friday. Be safe, have a fantastic weekend. Here's Mario with sports.
Hey, Fritzy, thank you. Dodgers ace Clayton Kershaw is looking forward to the challenge against the Cubs. Plus, we head out to the Inland Empire where a huge high school football rivalry ends up in a big-time blowout. That and more next in sports.
This is the SoCal Honda Dealers Sports Desk with Mario Solis.
On the eve of Game 1 between the Dodgers and Chicago in the NLCS, Cubs players are most likely sound asleep right now after they had to make an emergency landing in Albuquerque due to a family member becoming ill on the team flight to LA. As for the game itself, Dodgers ace Clayton Kershaw gets the start tomorrow night. We're still not sure who will take the mound for the Cubs because they had to use their top 4 starters over the past few days to beat Washington. As for Kershaw, he's fully rested and not thinking about the past.
Yeah, people talk about all the postseason failures that I've had a lot, and I understand that. And I don't really look at it like that, though, which I guess is a good thing for me. But, I think it's I look at the times that, I've had success at times, too, and I try to marinate on those, like you said. So it just so happens that a lot of the years that we've lost, I've been pitching that night. So I'm gonna try not to do that this year.
As for the rest of the rotation, Dave Roberts announcing that Rich Hill will pitch Game 2, Yu Darvish Game 3, and Alex Wood slated to go in Game 4. Lakers and Clippers from Staples Lonzo Ball sitting this one out. Brook Lopez led all Lakers with 16 points. Lakers up by 6. Kyle Kuzma had 8 off the bench plus 5 dimes. Here, the assist to Julius Randle. Lakers by 7 at the half. Third quarter now, Clippers make a run. Wesley Johnson with 3 of his 11 points on the night. Clippers within only 1. Then in the fourth quarter, Lakers commit the turnover. Tyrone Wallace cleans it up. 2 of his game-high 23. But down the stretch, Josh Hart nails some clutch shots. Lakers hang on to beat the Clippers 111-104. To the ice we go. Ducks in Colorado taking on the Avalanche. Anaheim shorthanded with Cam Fowler in the box. It doesn't matter. Brandon Montour scores the equalizer, his first of the season. But later in the period, Colorado regains the lead. Tyson Barrie slapping home the power play goal. Avs down the Ducks 3-1. Back with more after this. We head out to the IE, big-time rivalry between Los Osos and Rancho Cucamonga. Cougars score early and often. Nick Acosta scrambles, hits Silas Bolden for the touchdown. Rancho keeps piling up the points. Check out Jakari Williams. Breaks loose, beats everyone to the end zone. This game turns into a blowout real quick. Cougars cap off the night as Acosta hits Jeremiah Credell. Rancho shuts out Los Osos 48-0. Monster showdown between number 1 Mater Dei and number 2 St. John Bosco. Kobe Bowman makes the grab over the middle, and it's a foot race to the end zone. 77-yard strike, but Mater Dei answers right back. JT Daniels finds Amonra St. Brown for the score. Mater Dei prevails 31-21. Big slate of college football games tomorrow. Number 13 USC hosting Utah, and fresh off their bye, the UCLA Bruins back in action as they take on Arizona in Tucson. Finally tonight, huge upset as number 2 Clemson falls from the ranks of the unbeaten. With the game tied at 17, Syracuse takes the lead on Eric Dungy's 30-yard pass to Steve Ishmael. In the fourth, with the game deadlocked at 24, Cole Murphy puts the Orange on top for good. Fans would storm the field as Syracuse pulls off the shocker 27-24.
This was the SoCal Honda Dealers Sports Desk with Mario Solis.
Hundreds of faithful gathered at St. Andrew's Catholic Church in Pasadena tonight to celebrate the 100th year anniversary of Our Lady of Fatima. October 13th, 1917 marks the final appearance of Our Lady of Fatima to 3 shepherd children. The 100th anniversary of what many believe to be the last apparition of the Mother of Jesus in Fatima, Portugal, and it's being commemorated around the world.
That was just very moving, and to see how much people love her. If we could just spread it beyond our church, that would just be just amazing.
A farewell mass will take place tomorrow morning at St. Andrew's Catholic Church.
The LA Korean Festival is now underway at Seoul International Park in Koreatown. The 44th annual event showcases Korean culture, including food and music. Some 300,000 people are anticipated to attend this year's event, and they'll be treated to traditional dances and K-pop performances. The festival runs through Sunday, and if you'd like some more information, we've got it for you on our NBC LA app.
Here's the 3-day planner for downtown. As you look at this, I know folks in Orange County, Anaheim Hills in particular, are really worried about these weekend winds. They will be substantial, but they won't be as strong as LA and Ventura County winds. I think you're looking at 25 to maybe 35-mile-an-hour winds, which in an active fire is bad, but it's not the 50-plus-mile-an-hour winds we might see up in the LA and Ventura County mountains for the weekend. But it would be a bad fire weekend in total.
For the state, yeah.
For the state, absolutely. Have a good weekend, guys.
Coming up next on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, it's Tina Fey.